Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you my June mid-month wrap-up. So in the first half of June, from the 1st through the 15th, I managed to complete a total of 8 books. I'm pretty happy with that. It is a little below par from where I've been in recent months, but 8 is still a really great number. And 2 of those 8 books that I read in the first half of June were both over 600 pages. So I'm really happy with that number. So let's just jump straight in so I can talk about these 8 books that I did manage to complete. The first book that I completed in the month of June was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. So this is of course the 3rd book in the Harry Potter series, and I absolutely adored this. I don't have a lot to say about this as a whole. We all know that I absolutely adore Harry Potter. I haven't reread them in so long, and I've been so enjoying immersing myself back in this world. And I really enjoyed this. Lupin is such a great professor. I just really loved this. Of course, I gave it 5 stars. Next, I completed Echo Park by Michael Connelly. This is the 12th book in the Harry Bosch series. This one I did really enjoy. It has quite an enjoyable mystery. The mystery of it I did really enjoy. But the main character of Harry Bosch made some kind of really questionable decisions in this one that I don't know that I really agreed with or really enjoyed him making. And I am obviously really invested in him as a character. He's the main character of this series. I'm 12 books in, I'm invested in him as a character. So when he makes decisions, poor decisions or decisions that I believe to be poor, it does upset me quite a lot. So I didn't love that, but I did still really enjoy the book as a whole. And like I said, the mystery was really good. So I gave this one 3.5 stars. Next, I completed Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the 5th and final book in the Lux series. Now, I did really enjoy this. It was fast-paced and action-packed as ever. I don't think that there was necessarily the need for Damon's POV in this book, because I understood it kind of in the 4th book, but in this one it just felt unnecessary. And I kind of understand that maybe because she'd put it in the 4th book, she thought it would be weird to then take away in this one, but it did start to get pretty annoying in this one. Damon's constant thoughts about just wanting to have sex with Katie all the time. That's basically all he thinks about is it does start to kind of grate on you. I also did find that this was a little bit kind of anticlimactic. I didn't think the ending was it wasn't as a kind of big and stuff as what I was hoping that it would be, but I did still really enjoy this. I enjoyed the series as a whole, and in the end I gave this one 3.5 stars. And the next book that I completed was also in this collection. This bind up has the 5th book and the novella Shadows by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is book 0.5 in the series. It is a novella that follows Dawson and Beth, set before the events of the Lux series. I enjoyed this. It was okay, but I just didn't really feel it added, it was enjoyable. It just didn't add anything to the story. I just kind of felt maybe a bit unnecessary. I don't know. It was enjoyable enough, I guess. In the end, I gave the novella 3 stars. Next, I completed a book on audio, and that was Talon by Julie Kagawa. This is a young adult book set around dragons. Now, I actually thought going into this that this was a book about that it was a fantasy book, but it's actually not really fantasy. It's an urban fantasy. It is set in our modern world, and it just is a world that has dragons in it who can appear to be human, and we're following the main character Ember, who is a dragon, and her twin brother Dante are kind of at the last stages of their kind of beginning training, and they get a summer off where they're supposed to, have some fun or whatever before they kind of find out what jobs they're going to get in this dragon hierarchy, etc. This was enjoyable, but it wasn't what I was expecting. It was also really kind of predictable, and the book's quite long, but not a lot happens. When I was thinking back when I was trying to remember big events and stuff that took place, not a lot really happens until the end. It is a long book with just, I don't know, looking back it seems a lot of filler. So the book, it was enjoyable enough, I guess, but like I said, just didn't really have like much in it. I will continue to kind of see how it progresses and if maybe it gets a bit more in, like a bit more action packed and like enjoyable. In the end, I gave this 3 stars. I do just want to touch on the narration a little bit. Jen from Over and Today and Jen's Library recently did a video about audiobooks and how important it is to talk about narrators when you're talking about an audiobook and give them recognition as well, and talk about what you enjoyed and didn't enjoy about the narrators and the narration generally. And I really appreciated that video, and I've realized that that's something on my channel that I really haven't been doing enough of. So I do want to just talk about the narration of Talon a little bit. So this is narrated by Caitlin Davies, McLeod Andrews, and Chris Patton. So there were 3 narrators, and there are 3 points of view, so you had a different narrator for each of the 3 points of view, and I actually really enjoyed that. This is the first time that I have read a book with kind of like a cast of narrators, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought that that added a lot to the story, and if I'm being honest, it was actually probably the narration that kept this at a 3 stars. It might have been a lower rating considering how little happened in the book if I hadn't have enjoyed the narration as much as I did. So I definitely do recommend probably listening to this on audio if it's a book that you're interested in checking out. The next book I completed was The Romeo Catches by Alice Arden. This is a book that I was approved for on NetGalley, so thank you so much to NetGalley and the publishers for approving me to read this one. If you recall, I reread The Cascade Girls last month in preparation to read this, the sequel. And I was really excited to kind of get to this book and the sequel, and I was not disappointed. I really enjoyed this sequel. We actually have dual POVs in this book, which I wasn't expecting, and at first I was a little bit like, oh, I didn't know how I felt about it, but I did come to like enjoy like both POVs. I do still prefer Adele, who's the main character from the verse book. I do still enjoy her POV like a little bit more than the other POV, but I do still like enjoy both POVs. I will say that the plot in this, and like this, there's a lot going on. This is a long book. This is the one of the over 600-page books that I read so far this month, and it can get quite convoluted. It does get quite complicated, and there's a lot going on, and it can get like a little bit confusing at times. But I will say that I thought I enjoyed this one more than I enjoyed the first one, and I think that has to do with just purely my connection to the characters. Like at this point, I'm pretty invested. Like I really enjoy like all of these characters. I haven't touched on what this is about. This is a story set in New Orleans that basically surrounds like witches and magic and voodoo and vampires and things like that, and it is so enjoyable. It's right up my alley. I love like all the like magic and stuff like that going on in here. It is really enjoyable, and like I said, I'm so connected to the characters. The ending of this book was freaking intense, and I can't believe that I'm going to have to wait. So when I talked about Cascade Girls, I mentioned that only this book was like the 2 books were listed on Goodreads, and that there was no like book after this listed, so I didn't know if it was a duology. It's not a duology. I don't know how many books they're going to be. I just know that on Alice Arden's website it has like something you can sign up for to find out like updates about book 3, so there's at least going to be a 3rd book. But Alice Arden is self-publishing these books, I believe, so it is obviously taking longer for her to get them published, which is really sad because they are really enjoyable, and it's probably going to be like 2 years or something until I get to read the 3rd installment, and that is really sad because I really want to know what happens next and how it finishes, because I did really enjoy this book. I do have a lot of questions. I just want to know like what's happening and what's going to happen next, but as I said, I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4.25 stars. The next book I completed in the month of June was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. This is of course the 4th book. This has historically been my favorite in the series from when I was younger. I obviously can't judge whether it's still my favorite because I haven't finished rereading the series, but I do friggin' love this book. Like I just love it so much. It's so enjoyable. I love all of the stuff with like the Triwizard Tournament and, you know, trying to figure out all the different tasks and things like that, and I love the dynamics going on in the friendships with like Harry, Ron and Hermione and just everything going on. This book is also kind of for me like where the books start to really turn. Like I know they get a lot longer, like from basically this one on they're a lot longer, but they also just like a lot more's going on, and it gets a lot like kind of darker from here, and like shit's just starting to get real, let's be honest, and I love it. I love every minute of it, and of course, again, this one was a 5-star for me. And the final book that I completed in the first half of June was Illusion by Martina Boone. This is the 3rd and final book in the Heirs of Watson Island trilogy, and I'm not sure, like I wasn't really sure how to feel about this. I will say that I didn't have as much recollection as I would like about the first 2 books going into this. I did try to read like reviews and stuff to try to refresh my memory, but I was still a bit like hazy going in, and that probably definitely didn't help. This book gets very, very complicated, like very complicated. There's a lot going on. I was like I was confused, like I was really starting to lose like the thread of like exactly what was happening at some points. I also thought that the ending was very anticlimactic. Like I was disappointed with the ending. I actually really would have loved an epilogue, and I'm not necessarily like a huge lover of epilogues. Like I'm kind of person, I don't love them, I don't hate them, like I kind of take them or leave them, but in this I really think an epilogue would have been like a good addition to the story. It was also like it was too long. The book is like 400, almost 450 pages, and it was too long. It could easily have been shorter. The main thing that I really enjoyed about this book is the romance. I really love Barry and 8, the 2 like main characters. Like I adore them. Like their romance is so cute and so beautiful, and that's like my favorite part about the series, like as a whole, the trilogy as a whole, was their relationship. It was like enjoyable. I'm saying like a lot of negative things about it. I did still like enjoy it, and I'm like glad to know like how everything ended, but I feel like it really, like it could have been better, and in the end I gave this one 3 stars. So those were all of the books that I completed in the first half of June. If you've read any of these books and you have any thoughts, I would love to chat in the comments down below, or any books that you've been reading so far in June, especially if you've been really loving them. Recommend them to me down below. I love book recommendations, as we all know. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. But that's all I've got for this video today. Bye guys!